Hello everyone, dear friends. At your request, I will share with you the situation on the planet and what is happening. My friends are constantly inquiring about this. I want to reiterate that I will remain as neutral as possible to avoid taking one side or the other. Naturally, the focus will be on the events in Ukraine. Lives are being lost on both sides. However, it's not just lives that are being lost, thousands of people are left homeless. Naturally, I cannot remain on the sidelines. Despite this, I will convey the experiences I have gained. I believe they will be very instructive for all of us. I prayed to Jagannath for some time. This is the deity of the Hindu tradition. I asked him for help. In fact, this situation has lasted too long, so much blood has been spilled, and everything has become embittered, cruel, and ruthless. I do not take the position of either one side or the other. I understand that both sides have their own motives. As a person from the outside, I possibly cannot take into account all the elements and, accordingly, do not make any conclusions. I recognize that everyone has certain arguments and motivations. It cannot be avoided. But there also exists the spiritual world. Of course, when I prayed to Jagannath, I asked, Lord, please stop this massacre, stop this suffering, stop what is happening. There are too many related matters, and everything is unfolding somehow too harshly. My friends, I ask you once more to treat me very gently. I am not a military man. In combat, I am a zero. I do not draw any conclusions. I cannot do that, and I do not need it. I just asked for peace. I don't know how this peace can be achieved. Perhaps it may be the result of some kind of truce, or maybe due to mutual coordinating actions. In any case, I always call for peace. Turning to Jagannath, I asked, Lord, there truly are many dead. This is no longer a war. This is some kind of massacre. It is important to understand that the question is not even what is happening now or what occurred before. I'm afraid to think about what may happen next. As the experience of the Second World War shows, events can escalate, and like everyone else, I wouldn't want all this. In one meditation, I saw myself reciting a mantra. Before reciting the mantra, I always express a heartfelt intention with a request to deity Jagannath. In the vision, I was at the place where I do my yoga practices. I was sitting in a yoga pose, reciting the Jagannath mantra. I saw the house in which I live, as well as the surrounding space. At some point, the house transformed into a Jagannath. It wasn't the usual Jagannath, but the one taken to Rath Yatra in the city of Jagannath Puri. This is a summer festival. The deity itself is made of wood, and its height is about 4 to 5 meters. I can't judge for sure, but visually it appears to be around that. He's very big. And, as I mentioned, the house in which I was turned into a deity known as Jagannath. So, I realized that, in my case, there are certain blessings in my practice, and there's no need to worry about any problems. I've received a special blessing, a unique protection. However, the question is not just about protection and how Jagannath manifests himself. Such a manifestation symbolizes the fact that everything surrounding me is part of Jagannath. In fact, he is all of this. That's the essence. Yet, Jagannath manifested himself in such a way that, despite being radiant and in a very beautiful form, there was darkness surrounding him at a certain distance. There was something happening as if it were night. I saw myself inside the house as one of his energies. I was part of him. I perceived myself not as a material body, but as a shining blue energy within the deity itself. Being inside the deity, I appealed to him, Lord, there is a massacre here. People are dying, and so forth. He responded to my request so sternly that I didn't even feel at ease. He, somehow, spoke this, being in a state of righteous punishing anger. I would characterize it like this. He answered me literally with the words, "Unclean souls, demons, must be destroyed." When he said this, I understood, I felt, that my question regarding what was happening and my request even irritated him. It's because, as I understand, I should have initially understood the reasons for what was going on. But most likely there was some kind of cowardice in me. He seemed to respond to me very strictly. "At your level, you shouldn't have such requests. You're asking foolish questions." There was also an interesting moment in his answer regarding demonic creatures. I tried to understand where these unclean spirits and demonic entities manifest. As I understand it, good forces should have been either on one side or the other. I mean, Jagannath should be on one side, and, accordingly, some unclean souls on the other side. There is always a battle between good and evil. I sought to uncover the mystery of what side Jagannath is on, what side demonic beings occupy, and what it means that demons must be destroyed. After the vision occurred, I somehow analyzed it. Essentially, they perish on both sides, so what's the point? This is probably still a topic for future meditations, so please approach this vision philosophically. I'm not attempting to blame or praise either side. However, I can say unequivocally that in this war, there is a very deep spiritual subtext, my friends. Most likely, it's because Jagannath was furious. He was in a state of irritation, and there was a lot of darkness around. This suggests that Jagannath's energies are immersed as much as possible in the events that take place there. The spiritual worlds, as well as the demonic worlds, collided in the events that are now unfolding. Well, that's the meaning of this vision. I want to say again, we're not on either side. We are developing on the path of yoga, reading mantras, and so on. But the spiritual significance of those events that happen is exactly this. Well, something like that. Until we meet again.